When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
If a generalized black woman is doing this and being this, that is irresponsible.
No,
when you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Showing me,
black and proud. Claim you're African, black and proud.
I think that if
when you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
a page,
what is the status of people who have FBA?
When you claim you're African, you're going to get your mind back.
That's why I was laughing, because I am
claim you're African.
I'm not saying the framework doesn't do a thing, but
become a part of it.
We've been
forward to black men
become a part of it.
Being in the control. We
become a part of it.
Only
embrace it.
That those one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Embrace it. When you claim you're African, you're going to get your mind
that
back.
mental growth takes place. You've been misled by leadership, for instance, that thinking you can consume.
When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Appreciate it. I think we should be up and running now. Proper perspective, Mr. K. Peace and power. Old dirty kung fu. Peace and power to you, everybody. Welcome to DAW's Lecture Hall chat. Let me know if you can hear me now, family. Hopefully that remedied the problem. But I was saying I woke up this morning and I saw a video. But nonetheless, I'm coming in here a bit late. Thank you, Mr. K. Thank you, Brother Cuz. I'm coming here a bit late. I had to go out and get some dinner. And also, I did have to change tonight's topic a bit because I was going to have our dear brother Tahaka Bay come in today, and we were going to talk about some things. So look out for that show coming very soon. And we'll be talking about Marcus Garvey, the Marcus Garvey connection to Moorish science, and those type of Moors versus the pseudo scientific Moors or the pseudo Moorish science type of folk. And we want to talk about the differences and also the connections, quite like we did not too long ago about the pseudo pretendians and their connection to the pseudo African centrists. But nonetheless, I woke up today and what do I see? The rising star of FBA responded to my post on TikTok, I think it was. But interestingly, he challenged me to a debate or something like that. He challenged me to a debate. Now, y'all know I don't really be doing no debating of people in their religions. I don't really do debates of people in their, like, what am I going to do? Like, it's like, unless we can reason, there's no reason for me to enter the match. Now, Haki me, that's like somebody I know. I didn't think he was gonna take the debate, and he didn't. He said he did, but he chumped out. My man Haki chumped out, y'all. But anyway, that's that's still my brother, nonetheless. You know, some of our brothers and sisters need some help. You know what I mean? And but high key like he's straightened up just a little bit. He like just a little bit. You know, you gotta keep high key honest. See, because what happens is once you turn around, he will put his hand in the cookie jar. So I'm telling you, there's people like that in our communities, and I'm not playing. There's people that look like grown-ups that you have to hold accountable in different ways than which we may believe they need to be held accountable. And as a brother, you know, Daniel, I don't really know Daniel too much, but this is Daniel. This is Daniel. He's the one who came into my chat room today and he challenged me to a debate. That my man Daniel. Y'all know Daniel? So Daniel challenged me to a debate. I heard him. I got a clip of him. We'll talk. We'll go over it today. I appreciate it. One thing about Daniel is he looks the part. You know what I mean? Daniel looked like, you know, I don't know. Again, I keep saying, what's up with that unk? My man Daniel got the unk on, but you'll see why that's even more crazy as we go out throughout this video. And I came up with a hypothesis. I came up with a hypothesis that some of these people were Afro-centric rejects or African-centered pseudoscientists. But then I thought about it a little deeper. And I said, you know what? Some of these people just follow Tariq Nasheed to whichever ideology he decides he wants to be a part of. Whichever his new grift, whichever houses his new grift. So, I mean, I don't know how long Daniel has been following the foundation, but something about Daniel and that unk on his neck. I mean, my man posing though, ain't he, y'all? He posing. You dig what I'm saying? And you know, Daniel has a high level of confidence. I mean, almost surpasses Haki Ami's confidence. You know, what I realize is even with Haki, if y'all heard me say, I would not want to debate Haki because one, it would get real ugly. Now, with Daniel, on the other hand, I understand that it will be going down into some mud. And I'm not going to be fighting people that are using FBA 101 talking points. I mean, Daniel is not like bringing anything new. He's bringing the basic talking points from FBA. He's bringing the basic 101. No, I'm sorry. He didn't even make it to 101. Daniel his talking points are remedial. But one thing about FBA, I got to give it to them. They imitate their cult leaders so much and so well that he gives them this false confidence. There's this confidence that they have. I mean, partly I appreciate it. Like, whoa, okay, he has confidence. But the problem with confidence is it real, or are you being a little too confident with your ability? Now, I would argue that Daniel is a bit more confident than his ability. Check my man out. I think Daniel believes because he throws a blazer on and he has an unk chain, a chain with an unk on it, and he puts his finger on his temple and he has a ring on his finger, that somehow that makes him look like a relevant candidate. Now, honestly, like, yeah, he does kind of look more relevant than this other guy that hardly shows his face. To some degree, I feel more comfortable with Daniel because Daniel does try to act calm in a very condescending, passive-aggressive way. taking shots, but trying to talk calm. You know, it's like it's a real stoic type of manospiric pseudo, man, I don't pseudo scientific type of approach. Like, you're supposed to believe Daniel because he said so. You're supposed to believe Tariq Nasheed because he said so. Now, this is one of Tariq's, you know, I don't know what how you align things as it pertains to military, but he's, I don't know, a captain or a lieutenant or you know, I don't think he's a colonel, but he's what I argue to you all, he's a rising star. And guess what? He's using that terminology I told you that they will be using. He's a Freedman. He's a part of the whole Kaba Cabernet. What's the other guy, y'all? What's the other guy? I heard him mention him. Divine, the divine guy. Now, Daniel, I told him I would not debate him because you all know I said, I'm not coming here to debate nobody. I'm coming here to teach. See, because I don't debate people who don't want to know no better. What? High key, I don't know if I would have made it all the way. I would have did it because high key, at least we could have a good laugh afterwards. But Daniel will be serious. Because Daniel really believes, like this guy believes because he puts this blazer on, that it qualifies him somehow. I mean, I can see it. It's a whole made up type of character. It's an entire whole made up type of personality here. I get it, you know, but he's confident. And let's see what Bawan is saying here, yo. What is Bawan saying? Bawan is saying, Doc, who we getting tonight? Uncle Danny. Now, Uncle Danny, if that's what you want to call him, I mean, because he's the rising star, at least that's what I'm saying. Because I really haven't looked at, honestly, a lot of those other guys. You know what? Someone sent me a clip of Danny, and I'll be real honest. I'll give Danny a little bit of some affirmation a bit. I can at least listen to him, you know. He's not like, he doesn't make my stomach hurt like some of them. So it's something about Danny that polishes himself up and makes it a little bit more stomachable. I can stomach Danny just a little more. Now, Danny doesn't make too much sense, but Danny, I can stomach. And I mean, I don't know how old Danny is. He might be, I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell. But I imagine that he's a young brother and he's trying. So I give my brother Danny an applause for attempting to do what he's doing. Now, if he really believes what he believes, daggone sure ain't gonna debate him. Now Tariq Nasheed, we know don't believe what he believes. What he said, what he espouses. Now, Danny with this unk on his neck. Again, I gotta keep pointing back to you that this guy who's anti-Pan-Africanist somehow continues to take photos and videos with this unk. So again, it takes me back to the idea that somehow maybe, this is my other hypothesis, y'all, is that maybe he just followed Tariq's. I could be wrong. I don't know how long he knew Tariq. I don't know if he got woken up, quote unquote, or put to sleep by hitting colors. I'm not sure. But there's something about these people that I've been showing you, these pseudo-African Senate folk who are now saying they're anti-African, anti-immigrant, all these type of things. They're xenophobic. They'll say they're not, but they are. But you know what I'm saying? Their behaviors kind of like point you towards that, oh, they might be a little xenophobic. It's something about those FBAs, those what they're calling themselves now, Black Americans and Freedmen of 2026, that has them bringing in Kemetic symbols, but at the same time critiquing others for using those symbols. I don't know. Danny just think but Danny, he got confidence. And Danny think that he's a bit smart. And I'm not saying he doesn't have potential, but he ain't there yet. Let me just say that. And I know that in order for him to have a flying chance in a debate with me, he would have to get real dirty. And I ain't about to go down there in the muck with him. Even their leader, Tariq Nasheed, he can't debate fairly. In fact, why would I debate people who insult people? Why would I do that? You sit on there and you just insult people, very passive aggressively at that. And people typically pick that style up of insulting people and the way that they insult people as a way. I mean, they're too good with it. I'm just going to say they're really good at it. I mean, like they really, really calmly call people all types of names. Now, Tariq, he doesn't do it as calm, but he act like he's calm, but he's not calm. He's not as calm. It's just not. Hold on, what is this? Kashmir. Kashmir say, I respect the classic office the most. What, am I missing something? Kashmir say, decent amount of gold jewelry, but not way over the top. Okay, I don't, oh yeah, okay, I don't know what Kashmir is saying. But other than that, he cool. Kashmir, what we saying, Kashmir? Let's go to the first post. The host doesn't respect personal fitness. I'd said Ozempic if he unable to control himself. Okay. Yeah, that means you don't know me. So let's see here. Kashmir must be a FBA. Kashmir must be a FBA. Or is this Danny in disguise? So I had another one of those FBA Freedman people coming on one of my posts, definitely acting, or having their cronies come over, or their, what do they call those people, y'all? They send over their, what do they call them? Bots. I mean, somebody came on my post the other day talking about, oh, you're talking about this person. I'm a follower of yours. And I found about you in connection with this person and that person. So I'm unsubscribing. I looked at the person's thumbnail, clicked on it, and it said they had created their account 6 minutes prior. So it only has me believing to some degree that perhaps perhaps this person created the account, or they got somebody else to do it, or somebody that loves them, somebody who wants to protect them. And the reality is, again, we are so much into protecting people who should be able to protect themselves. Now, it's not that hard to protect yourself against me. You don't need to fake out. You don't need to do all these different things. I'm a very civilized person. You know what I mean? If you are civilized, there's no way that we can't sit down and have a conversation. Mr. K says, Dr. DAW, they name call, but they smear talk more. Yeah, they're really good at it. And people are saying that FBA is dying, and it seems like it, because FBA Ron, man, he's over there. He was I got all the numbers. Mr. K, what it is. So let me get into this craziness. Somebody said, I can't remember who it was, y'all. I got to give them credit. I'll find out later. They say that FBA is tethers to white nationalists. Quite like FBA believes that African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants are tethers. FBA Ados, Freedman, or whoever uses that language, Tethers, typically I know FBA uses that language, and Freedman, they a whole, they just try to clean it up like Danny and put on a suit. Danny might be a young brother, so I'm gonna give him a pass. He looks like he's a little young. I don't know. He got a clean face. So I'm not, so brother, keep learning, keep trying, keep striving, and and keep taking those posts and those poses, brother. I see you got a donkey next to you. Shill's tactically disposed. Maybe, you're talking about the Democratic Party. There's something about the Democratic Party that these people just can't stand. They even called me a Democratic shill. Now, all you got to do is go back in this account anytime we spoke about electoral politics, and you'll see my thoughts and views are very nuanced. But these people, these FBAs, these Freedmen, you cannot convince me that they are not GOP. You cannot convince me that they are not right-wing conservatives and black. You cannot convince me that they are not black and white in their thinking. That no, they're my brothers and sisters. I love them. Look, you can think you're trying to fool me either if you think you're my family member. I'm just trying to tell you, I can see you. I mean, you know that you might fool some other people, but you ain't fooling me. I mean, all the way to the degree I've heard recently, due to some of my analysis, that there's going to be black people boycotting my businesses for asking people to be real clear and honest with us. Now, the reality is, okay, if you have some people that want to do that, that's fine. Those people don't make up even a smidgen of what I do. And it will tell you where they are, because all I'm asking people to do is to be very clear about where they stand. Don't be over here faking with me. Don't be trying to fake me out and telling me all types of stuff behind the scenes. I'm talking about any of y'all. Look, anybody, I'm telling you, because I know some of y'all going to be doing things, don't tell me one thing and then say other things publicly. Anybody who does that next to me and you continuously do it, no. No, I'm not the one to do that around. I'm not the one. Especially if it compromises me, my family. Look. If you out here trying to boycott, y'all know what, look, it's people out here saying they're calling for a boycott of black business. Think about that. Because I'm saying, look, we need to stand strong. There's people out here suggesting, directly and indirectly, calling for boycotts of Dr. Daw's businesses. Now, the people that would respond to that will be people that are caught up in some kind of way in fame, popularity. Anybody who would do that would be really far and few would be people who are misled, misguided, and don't understand what's truly going on. And I will question their own morals and values, because I will sit down with anybody who really wants to talk and work things out. But we understand we got to hold people, all of us, including myself, needs to be held accountable. I don't mind sitting down with people who can regulate themselves, people who are respectful, people who you can kind of gauge them and they won't switch back and forth and they don't fence ride and they don't do all these type of things. I am suggesting that it is sad. It's a sad day when I'm hearing back from black people that because Dr. DAW has a critique of Tariq Nasheed and other people who seem to be in bed with them, that they're going to boycott his businesses. But the same people saying they struggling with the idea of boycotting Asian business. And a lot of them just talking stuff anyhow. They talk all that talk on the internet, and then they go and they buy some egg foo young. I'm in Baltimore. They talk all that talk, so they go and buy some yakami. You dig what I'm saying? That is what they do. So what I am saying is Dr. DAW ain't stupid enough to depend on you people who don't know how to regulate yourselves and to regulate your mind and who can see clearly the foolishness of I don't even know if it's real. You know, people say all types of stuff, right? Like, okay, let's send this type of message back. Like, okay, let's let you know, because people are real interested. They tell people stuff because they know people going to tell you stuff, and they kind of want to, you know, take up some real estate in your mind. Well, let me let you know, I'm not concerned. I've been a business person for a long time, and I've had greater fights than that. I don't even know if it's not even a fight, just to be honest with you. And if it is a fight, I sit down and fight. That is the most foolish stuff I've ever heard in my life. You got to understand when you're dealing with people who are sick, when they don't want to come clean. And if I hear more stuff about these type of things, I will drop some things. So y'all better get your peoples in order, because it just ain't, it's not right. But look, do what you will. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do what you will, because it ain't gonna hurt us. So, family, this guy Danny, we're gonna get to him a little later. But I'm hoping that the Pan-African community understand the essentialness of propaganda, that we understand the essentialness of media, that we understand the essentialness of having true, stable, 10 toes down, Pan-Africanist and African-centered analyses. Not flip-floppers, not people who one day they Aboriginal, the next day they Commission, the third day they from the Gambia, and the fifth day, and they got grandparents from everywhere. People who now want to take over and take on people from this particular landmass's identity. No. Ivan Van Sertima didn't do that. No. Dr. Clark didn't do that. I'm sorry. You want to say he did. That's not what none of them did. Even if they were wrong in their analysis, they weren't that wrong. You are making stuff up. You're making stuff up. But at the end of the day, let's get started with Brother Danny's. Let's get started with Brother Danny's cousin. He's the one who made me the infamous Dr. Rubskin. He has memes of me and with Teddy Rubskin and maybe we'll go with that other person who said that I'm a tubby. So look, Teddy Rubskin, cute and cuddly, you know what I mean? And with a kufi on with some kente. They also called me the Kwanzaa Teddy Rubskin. They called me the Hotep Drewski. They called me the light-skinned Roland Martin. I don't even know how much dark is Roland Martin to me. I don't know. But and then some called me the Umar 2.0. Then they called me the Temu Umar. Then they called I mean, it's all. I mean, I really love them all. I appreciate. Look, I'm telling you, I even appreciate the damn call for the boycott. Look, do it, and you will see how successful you will be. I appreciate all the memes. Look, keep making them. Do them. Do what you do. Make it rain. You dig what I'm saying? Do it. I don't do that foolish stuff, but I know you will. I know you will make them because it's evident to your level of maturity. In fact, I'm getting back that I'm immature. Oh my God. By people who are so immature and dysregulated and out of their, and they'll tell you that they don't know how to control their emotions. But you know, y'all come for me for not beating up on FBA hard enough. I'm not going to be beating up on FBA. They can call me all the names. I'm confident. When they say all that stuff, it's evident that something is going on inside of them. When you actually get on the internet, you don't have a picture. You create an account 6 minutes ago, or you do whatever you do. That means something's wrong with you. There's absolutely something ain't right. That you spent the time, it makes you feel good to talk about somebody else. Unleash, why don't you? Unleash, why don't you? Continue to unleash. Unleash. If that is what's helping you cope in the moment, do it. I'm confident. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. It doesn't hurt me. But it does hurt me that you're so hurt. See, because I really do care for my community. But when I see that you're so hurt that you have to name call and do all these things, in a weak way. You do it in a weak way. Some of y'all will turn the camera and do it, and you just as crazy as you want to be. And then some of y'all pull the trigger behind fake profiles. You are weak. And I want you to heal. I want you to do better. I want to see you rise. I want to see you return back home to Mother Africa and reclaim your goddamn mind. I want to see you heal. I will put myself in position to allow you to punch me a little bit. I might take a jab back every now and again just to let you realize I'm still here. But you better understand that I know why I'm doing this. And I'm not doing it for why you're doing it. So I anticipate your behaviors. I anticipate what you will do. I anticipate all of these things. And as Dr. Ray Hagen shared with me some years ago, he shared that to be a minister, what he learned from his mother, or my Karu, and this might sound a little interesting, is to allow people in some ways to hurt you to help heal them. So let's do it, y'all. Now let's get into the hurt and pain again. Hold on, let's see. Somebody said something about Dr. Amos Wilson. Let me see what Reclaiming NYC said. As Dr. Amos peace, brother Reclaim NYC. As Dr. Amos would say, in order for you to behave like that, you must be out of your African mind. Yet, absolutely facts. You know what I mean? Absolutely facts. And that is why, before I even jumped into this FBA battlefield, I got this song made in Baltimore. And I got the song made in Baltimore talking about reclaiming your Africanness. Reclaiming it. You know what I mean? And that is what we talking about here.
When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind
the generalized black woman is doing this and being this. That is when you reclaim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back.
When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back.
The generalized black woman is doing this and being this. That is irresponsible.
No,
when you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back.
Showing me,
Black and proud. Claim your Africanness.
Because I think that if
when you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back.
a page,
what is the status of you reclaim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. I'm black and I'm proud. That's what I am. So what I will say is, family, we have to create space inside of us to handle those who can't control themselves. I always tell you that these people are professional victims. They are professional victims, and I could smell them a mile away. And you must know that Dr. DAW moves in real political ways. He can smell you. He knows what's going on. He does. He knows what's going on, even if you don't think he sees it. No, I've again, as a young man growing up with many businesses, I've learned a lot about personality, and it's not hard for me to see what you got going on. And you ain't gonna slick me. I mean, look, it's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just not gonna happen. Now let's get to this guy. Talking about the problems we got here. Talking about the issues we have in our community. Talking about the sickness. And there's too much evidence to support that these people, FBA, Freedman, especially the pretendians, moreover, they need to reclaim their Africanness and their Africanity because they've lost their minds. Now, if you were to sit down with me, I wouldn't perhaps even talk this strong, because it's not about me trying to convince you that you're out of your mind. This is psychoeducation for people who want to know. That's the type of show this is. It's kind of like telling, me speaking on schizophrenia. Like, you can psychoeducate on a platform like this, or even when you're in school, about schizophrenia. But the reality is, you don't just go and start trying to convince people who got schizophrenia that they got schizophrenia, because it ain't gonna help. I mean, it doesn't work like that. I mean, you have to find a way to help them want to, adhere to some treatment modality. Even with people with like other disorders, like, let's say less disordered in some ways, nonetheless, they have some biological disorder, or what you might call a organic disorder, like bipolar disorder. It might not help them if you just tell them that they have bipolar without, I mean, you're gonna have to kind of like warm it up. Like, you're gonna have to, it's essential that they know to some degree, because, okay, let me back up what I'm saying. These people, a person with bipolar, for the most part, unless they are suffering from with delusions or what have you, you can reason with them. They might not just like the disorder, but it's essential that they realize that they are dealing with some mood disorder, so that they can change or regiment or track their cycles and or take medicine. Now, disorders like bipolar, schizophrenia, those organic biological disorders, it is best practice that the person does both therapy and also some medical regimen. Now, not everybody who has bipolar actually takes medicine. Not everybody who has schizophrenia don't take medicine. Now, for the most part, somebody with schizophrenia, in order for them to come back to some level of homeostasis, they might need medication for the most part. I'm not saying, you don't have any extreme examples other than that. Now, there's plenty of people walking around with bipolar disorder and they're self-regulating. It's hard, but they're doing it. But there might be somebody with just regular depression. And you might tell them it might be too hard, but at the end of the day, you can tell them and they might be able to adapt. Quite like bipolar, a little bit more difficult. Schizophrenia, a lot more difficult to really believe that what you see or what you hear for the most part isn't really happening. So again, quite like FBA, ADOS, especially FBA and the Pretendians, I leave ADOS alone somewhat. They seem to be, they're not as severe. See, again, we can look at all these groups as we look at mental disorder. There's severity levels here. Like you might find that ADOS might be all the way to the left. A little disordered, but not totally gone. A little angry, not totally gone. Functional. Then you get to FBA and Pretendianism and and then you keep going. All the way, you got the Freedman. That's kind of like, the Freedmen to me are like right before the Pretendians. And sometimes they might be both Pretendians and Freedmen. So, you might have co-occurring disorders. You might be FBA, Freedman, and Pretendian. Co-occurring. No, it's just a severity. All right, let me stop. I'll be real honest here. This is disordered. All of our greatest African-centered Black psychologists, social workers, mental health professionals note that this Afrophobia or this anti-Africanist is a disorder. So I'm not the first one that said it. I'm just furthering what I've already what has already been observed. But I'm not just furthering it because I'm just picking it up because they said so, because I'm not that guy. I've observed the same things. So again, let's listen to this dear brother. Well, this is FBA Ron, the one who's made me maybe several memes out of me. Ron, he's my brother, unless he's off. He's friendly too. But let's listen to this video, y'all.
Okay. What did you do with the Louisiana?
Now that's Tariq Nasheed. Let me make it clear. Ron is actually responding to, or maybe somewhat of analysis. He's giving somewhat of an analysis of a video Tariq Nasheed did entitled "Haitian Cake Soap Queen Crashed Out on FBAs." And I can't, this is a basketball player, it's backwards, so y'all get the gist.
We bought the Louisiana Purchase for the United States. You guys literally wouldn't have the 30.
Yeah. The chimp out is on a.
So that's Ron. Listen to what he says, y'all. Listen real closely. Now, I mean, this is too, like, I'm trying to show you that there's too many examples that FBA are white supremacists, cronies. They are sub-white supremacists. They're very weak. Something's wrong with them. I mean, listen to the words he used to describe this Haitian sister.
Other level, yeah.
The states that you have, the 35, the 35 states that you do have. Like, this, Tariq, you know this. Okay,
but listen, his leader is on there too. So it's just not Ron, but Ron is trying to get his views back up because they have dwindled severely. You know what I mean? He can't even, like, let me not. he used to talk about everybody's views. I don't know what happened over there, but he talks about people's views. And now he's over there. He can't even get it right with FBA. He told me to come over to FBA because it's so much more over there. He can't get it right over there.
Let's not.
Okay, don't talk over me. Don't.
You guys.
I gotta pause it because I gotta let you know. I gotta get commentary. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's no way I would have talked to her. No way. I mean, because I already see that she's not going to calm down for her chimping out.
Do you hear the word that he's using, y'all? Like, I haven't even heard this term to this guy. What's his name? The Builder, Chud the Builder. Like, why is he using that term? Why is he using that term? Why is he saying this person is chimping out? Like, you trying to tell me that you're not anti-immigrant, anti-black immigrant, but you're saying that this sister's chimping out? Listen to him.
To hear me out. So I know content creators, they're going to do it, but I couldn't have done this one.
Pull up.
Okay. She knows she's full of shit, ladies and gentlemen. That's why she'll say some bullshit and just get.
And this is Tariq. And I guarantee you, what Tariq says out of his mouth, it didn't deserve none of that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe what I'm saying is, it's even if it's the worst case, like we don't have. Look, it doesn't take much for Tariq to talk like that. I don't know who this person is, but him as a man, he doesn't have to talk like that. But this is the guy that people are protecting. This is the guy that some of these Pan-African fence riders are protecting. You know what I mean? And then you got the FBA Ron on here saying this sister's, I don't know, sister's chimping out. I don't know if this sister's a sister on the post or that's some AI rendering that they do to make caricatures of people. I don't know. Maybe y'all know in the chat.
Babbling, because you know I'm gonna counter this horse crap she's saying. Haiti didn't sell the damn Louisiana area to us.
Now listen to him again real quick. I'm not gonna stay here. I just want you to hear Ron saying she's chimping out. Why is he talking like Chud the Builder?
Okay, what did you do with the Louisiana Purchase?
We bought the Louisiana Purchase for the United States. You guys literally wouldn't have the 30.
Yeah. Oh, the chimp out is on another level. Yeah.
The chimp out-ism is what Ron says. What is going on? Am I supposed to really not see this as disordered? The FBA MAGA, somebody says. Like, am I supposed to protect Tariq and his cronies as a Pan-Africanist? Again, I say hold all of them accountable. And if I'm saying hold all Pan-Africans accountable who are over there doing things with him, you got to ask them questions. If that's too much, I mean, what's so much about that? What's so bad about saying hold people accountable? If you see someone who's claiming to be a thing over there doing other things or talking, like the craziness is this. FBA keeps talking about, Garvey met with the KKK. But I would argue that you have to ask questions about why are some of your Pan-African fence riders meeting with the KKK and black? This brother's talking about chimping out. Who uses, is that a new way we're now describing each other? I mean, of course I know he doesn't see this Haitian sister as his family member like I do. Like, because he's been confused, deluded, that somehow we are so different because of white men's territory. Like that's the reality. I know that's too hard to think when you're in remedial classes, but please, how do we get? Let's work together on this. Now that brother, who kind of sparked this conversation, he has this. He's been tagged in this, and I told him he can come on live. if he wants to. What's his name? Danny Boy. But Ron, FBA Ron, is sitting over there laughing and saying this sister is chimping out. Why not use a different word? Like some other descriptive term. Why are you using white supremacist ideological terms? Why are you calling this sister a monkey, a chimp, or what have you? Why are you doing that? Now, keep in mind, these are the same people who took up for this president, 47, for putting out people as monkeys. The same ones will say, oh, he didn't only have Michelle Obama or whoever as monkeys, he also had Biden as a monkey or a chimp or whatever. I didn't look at it much. I saw it. I heard people debating it. I don't give a hell. I don't care what Trump does. I don't care what people, you can, like, look, I don't care. But what I'm saying is, it's not about what you call me. Because I can handle it. Because I understand that when you use certain terminology about people in general, but more specifically Black people, something's got to be wrong with you. There's some hurt and pain. There's something going on. And they keep making my cases. And his brother, they keep making my case. Now, this person here, he thought he was like I told you, Mr. Danny Boy think he's a genius. Somebody done gassed him up. I don't know who gassed Danny Boy up. I mean, he's a young brother. He can come and sit in Dr. Dawes lecture hall if he wants. Man. So I just wanted to say, remember last week when I was doing this, was it last week? A few shows ago, I suggested that Danny Boy reminds me of this guy. Now, Danny, I don't know if Danny might go that low because Danny says some very interesting things out his mouth as well. Family, make sure you come in, you like, share, subscribe, and hype up the video. Especially after you watch it later, make sure you hype it up. Make sure y'all go back and hype the videos up. Because, we got to compete with the algorithm of foolishness. FBA can get in the white man's algorithm because they're divisive. They can't even, look, this guy, I'm going to just let you listen to him. But anyway, I wanted you to hear his big brother. I wanted you to hear his big brother. What's the guy's name? FBA Ron. Before I let you hear FBA Danny, Freedman Danny. And that's why I'm saying, look, we got to be real careful. We have to be real careful, and we have to be very discriminative. We have to hold people accountable for what they do. We don't really be caring. We be acting like, well, people get to do it. Look, people who say they are part of movement, they don't at the same time get to say, I don't care what you say, you're not paying my bills. Like, yo, if that is what people are saying out of their mouths, and I've heard it too often, now maybe they'll get this point and maybe they'll change that up. But to say that, to have the response that I don't care, you're not paying my bills, so that's why I'm continuously operating in hidden colors, or whatever. The brother came on my platform telling me this stuff, and I'm like, protecting people. Politically. Trying to see if there's any way to get these people to see more clear. Now, if I can't get them to see clear, the only way I can see working with or in proximity to them is if the cast know who we're dealing with. We're dealing with someone or some people that we have to hold accountable. Now, I can't do nothing with people that can't be held accountable. And damn sure can't hold themselves accountable. Plus, because people who can hold themselves accountable can also allow other people to hold them accountable. Now, it's very easy for me to say to hold me accountable. Because to be honest, like I'm not afraid of you trying to hold me accountable, because much of what you might try to hold me accountable on, I'm not a dirtbag. I might even disagree with you about what you say, but I'm not going to say, oh, you don't pay my bills. I mean, I've heard this. Someone came on this platform and told me this person said that, and this is why they said it. Now, I don't take it that way. Still to this day, I'm hoping what the person is saying is that not that opportunities with traders is paying their bills. Hopefully what they're saying is, I'll give them a pointer, is that when I say you're not paying my bills, that you don't matter to me. But even that is bad when we're talking about organizing. Just picture this. Someone that you are working with in a movement, you're working, you are struggling together. And then y'all have a disagreement. Y'all trying to hold each other accountable. They say, you don't pay my bills. It ain't too much more work you can do with that person. Because how can you hold one another accountable if that's their out? And then they say things like, I'm out if you don't, if this person is here. Like not even like, well, oh, okay, I'm resigning from things. All this type of thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, we retreat, we retract, we deflect, we don't want to be held accountable. My only thing about these Pan-African fence riders is to hold them accountable. Ask them to come out publicly, because those that I've heard, I think the only one that I've heard that I would say is truly Pan-Africanist was Baba Small. Baba Small came out. And before, like, and the fact that Baba Small came out, and I'm not talking about, I'm saying state where you stand. State where you stand. It's not that difficult, because you come out. Look, come on now. Come on now. You see people out there taking photos and trying to be famous and doing all this type of thing. Don't tell me y'all don't see this stuff. I ain't say no names yet. Y'all fill in the blanks. I'm not even gonna say no names. Baba Small stood up. Even the guy 19 Keys, who I think is and I just think he's fraudulent, just to be straight. Look. I don't know. He just smells fraudulent. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, and I could be wrong. And if I am, I'll take it back. But I can't even remember. But after watching him a few times in the stuff, there's some stuff. And what I mean, he's definitely fraudulent. Let me just put that. Now, fraudulent just means that you ain't what you say you are. I'm not saying he's taking money from you, but I'm not saying he's not taking money from you. But anybody who sells you a bandana and says it gives you super powers, that falls under the same pseudo Afrocentric pseudo NOI BS. And again, I'm saying pseudo. I'm not saying African centeredness is BS. I'm saying these are pseudo versions to enrich people's pockets. Brother Mr. K says, thanks for the super chat. I think it's a super chat. Notice Tariq only name calls them with his cam off. That's something to consider. I mean, I don't watch him enough, but yeah. So look, so I'm just saying, so I'm hearing that there are going to be some people boycotting my wife's business. Maybe because she's Jamaican. I'm just saying, it begins to add up. Maybe whoever's going to boycott must be FBA. It doesn't surprise me that you would say that, maybe because you're Jamaican. I mean, maybe because you're FBA, Freedman, ADOS, or what have you. I'm hearing back from some of the fence riders that people are going to boycott. Maybe I didn't get that firsthand, but I will say the source is honest, and I know that there's perhaps some fiction. People will say all types of things, you know what I mean, just to kind of get other people up in there. But again, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I've been in this community long enough. And if you boycott and you call yourself a Pan-Africanist, I mean, because like most people, like there's some very supportive people, but the Pan-Africanists aren't the people who get this business running. I've heard to the point that people are going to boycott other people who host their events here. I don't know. That could be just something that is being conjured up. So we fighting harder against me for just saying, look, y'all, hold people accountable. Hold me accountable. Where do you stand? I'm going to tell you real talk. Before I jumped in this fight, I'm a very intellectual type of person. So I can say, well, I use Pan-African frameworks and African-centered frameworks, but because of this mess, no, I'm Pan-Africanist, period. African-centered, period. You got, look, just say it. Because there's a war, as I've been telling people, on Pan-Africanism. It ain't about me trying to intellectualize things at that point. Because I like intellectual stuff. So I can intellectualize all types of things. I can intellectualize why you call yourself a Native American. We can make up all types of stuff. I can even understand why you would say it. I could make it work for you. Oh, so let's get back to it. It's something about FBA people that always think things have to do with dollar and cents. You dig what I'm saying? Like somebody asked me, one of these FBA fence riders wanted me to debate Tariq Nasheed because they thought there'd be some money that came about. I'm like, yo, for real? I'm not debating no goddamn Tariq Nasheed for no goddamn money. You think I do this for money? I don't do this for money. I told the person that. I don't do this for no money. I don't do this for fun. I mean, it is fun sometimes, but I don't do this for money. I do this for my people. I do this for African unity. And the reality is this, like, why would I even go into an arena? What type of foolishness is that? You think that we can make some money. That's what this person told me. We can make some money and sell out like the what's the arena downtown? The Baltimore Arena, I forgot what it's called now. And Tariq Nasheed comes because he can get an audience in there. Now, what kind of fool you think I am? Are you crazy? Do you think I'm gonna go into a full arena with a bunch of Tariq Nasheedites and have Tariq Nasheed? I'm not doing it. I mean, we would have to find a smaller venue, and it would have to be controlled. Not by, I'm saying a controlled environment where people can really, it has to be a moderator. It has to be an academic type of setup. I'm not walking into no match for somebody that has fans out here, FBA fans. And then it's a wild Sinetta style debate. You out of your mind. And I'm not doing it for no goddamn, we can sell out an arena because Tariq can pull the people. You think I'm Tariq's homeboy? What type of thought is that? Like, you think that You think I'm just on here talking because I want no? See, that's when you start to notice people do different things for different reasons, and that's not my reason. You think I'm doing this because for the reason that you're doing it. That's when you lost me. You dig what I'm saying? Let's see what Robert Rand is saying. Let me call my son. This is Robert Rand. Peace, brother Robert Rand. Let me call my son and tell him the FBA newsletter. Attention, all Caribbean by blood, born on European-controlled islands, that you cannot get reparations because you are not FBA. If that was the real argument, we could really deal with that. Brother Kerry, what it is, man. He's the thing, though. Here, I think he's meaning, here's the thing, though. Yes, Tariq is an actor, a paid agent probably, but that's not the real problem. The main issue is that he sows division within the black community. I don't know who you're talking to, but that's true. I agree with that. No Face Southeast. I keep thinking you not like this is like North Face Southeast because y'all love North Face and Southeast DC. I'm not sure if you're from DC, but I just assume you're from DC. Tariq likes to be a bully boy, but sounds childish and slow. I didn't say that, y'all. That's other people. Robert, No Face, where you from? You from Southeast DC, brother or sister? I don't know, something like that. All right, let's get back to Mr. Danny Boy. Danny Boy. My main man, Danny. You do a good job though, Danny. I just want to remind y'all that Danny, he's anti-Pan-Africanist. He talks about people who wears unks and Kemetic symbols, but somehow he tends to wear this chain quite a bit. Danny, you doing a good job there, brother. You are. You look like, yeah, you're gonna make history, it looks like, on this photo. Danny has hope. I believe Danny there's some hope for Danny. There's some hope for Danny. Because Danny, I believe, is still a young brother. I believe Danny, my conceptualization is that perhaps he came to these spaces by way of Tariq Nasheed and Hidden Colors. And maybe he bought that unk when Tariq was into Pan-Africanism. He paid a couple of dollars for the unk. Maybe, I don't know. It could be a fake knockoff off of Amazon. I'm not sure. But this is just a conceptualization. I could be wrong. But he's one of those people that follows Tariq. And that's what I'm beginning to think. Again, maybe it's not that they were Afrocentric rejects or pseudo-African-centered rejects. Maybe they were, especially those who continue to talk the ethers and, talk about, like the sister who got Bobby Hemming on her page. But I'm assuming that he's a Tariqite. And wherever Tariq goes, he goes. So, but he still kept the chain. He like, Tariq, look, bro, I know we moving, but I ain't changing my chain, bro. Look, I just bought this chain. I just bought this chain. You mean to tell me, look, Tariq, before you switch again, man. Hey, before you switch again, man, look, don't switch too fast, man, because I'll be making these investments in these chains and these unks that he also criticizes. What y'all say? Y'all said that did y'all say that Howard hosted? Did Howard hosted or somebody, a student or a crazy, who got him up in there? Disappointed that Howard University hosted a FBA and Freedman talk on campus recently. That's a shame for the so-called Mecca. Now, I saw my dear brother, the one who was the honorable one, was supposed to do a debate with me at some kind of rally or something. I mean, no, at some kind of reparations talk. Is that what you're talking about? Because Cobra was also in that particular space, and he made it seem like it was an Cobra event. So I was assuming that Yvette Carnell just happened to be there because it was about reparations, and Cobra was also there. So I don't know what it's all about. But is that the same event you talking about, Mr. Who was that? Brother Kerry? Let me see. Who is this right here? Who they blocking, y'all? Who y'all blocking? People. I didn't even know y'all block people. Y'all be sometimes letting, look, this person, they just making up stuff. Moderators block people who aren't bowing down to Winkler's belief. You can come up in here, SO. The link is in the description up in the top. You can talk about Dr. Winkler's beliefs if you want. Bowing down to my beliefs. Okay, cool. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. Let me see. Wait, I'm gonna try to play it on the YouTube version because it's I can put it in a faster speed. No, let me see. Let me just play it. All right, let's do it. All won, and then they won an award. So I pulled a brief clip out the other day, y'all. And it was one of those AI generated shorts that it suggested. So Danny Boy decided to respond to the clip because he saw his name in it. And again, Danny is the up and coming FBA. I want y'all to know this. His channel's growing. He gets quite a few views to just have hit, I think, 3,000 subscribers. You know, so make sure y'all like this video up, subscribe to this video, because again, Danny puts on jackets, but in this case, his jacket is off. I guess he had to come for DAW. He took his jacket off. Now, this is Danny, how we normally see him, because he wants to convince you that he's somebody to listen to. He even put his finger on his temple because he's a scholar. So Danny is now reviewing my video of him, and let's see how he does.
How's it going, family? Welcome back to the channel. We got a very special one for you today. A video was sent to me. This is a Pan-African guy. He clipped one of my conversations I was having, and in the conversation, the young lady was upset that I used an example of them delineating first.
So again, so he says all of a sudden we were all one, and then they won an award. And when they go on and win this award, they want to thank Jamaica. They want to thank Puerto Rico, whatever. They want to thank the Congo, whatever.
I want to thank Haiti. I want to thank Jamaica. I want to thank Costa Rica.
That's where they're from. Where should they think?
So again, this is Danny's clip. I'm playing the clip. Well, Danny's playing my clip that I'm playing of him. So we really doing some things here, Danny. We kind of like you know, we're going back with this. There's layers to this. So in this clip, this young lady is really trying to defend African and Caribbean Black people. And she's asking him, why does he treat people so bad or something like that? Because Danny thought I took a clip. I think spoke to most of the video if he sees the entire broadcast. And then he goes and talking about because they decided to delineate first. And then he goes in and say, we were all one until you win an award. We were all one until you won the award. So listen to how he explains it. So now, this is what he's upset about. Where it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make sense. Because the reality is, and it's probably not even totally true, but if you have parentage and lineage from other places, why not? Because in America, see, American Black people, we don't we don't claim the U.S. like that either. We don't just say, if we won an award, I want to thank the U.S. Who does that? What American awardee for a Grammy say, maybe one, maybe somebody who's very like conservative or like a little lost.
So as you can see, he really doesn't have a rebuttal for what I said because it's facts.
He says, I don't have a rebuttal for what he said because it's facts. Now listen to what he's saying his argument was.
Really upset about is we're ruining the church's money.
So now he's going into what this is really about. We're ruining the church's money. Listen more. He's talking about Pan-Africanism.
People like him get paid handsomely.
So he knows what I get paid. Hey, Danny. Hey, Danny, how much I get paid, man? Yo, tell me how much I get paid. Yo, when did you see my bank statements or like my W-2s or my 1099s or whatever, my loss, what do they call them? Can't think about them right there. Like, Danny, did you really say that? Like, I'm glad you think that I get paid handsomely. Maybe I present well like you, Danny. I must present well like you, Danny. Look. Yeah, Danny. I must present well like you with the suit and the chain. So now I get paid handsomely because Danny said so. Like, I mean, how did he find that out? I don't know. Please tell me. Okay, Danny. Well, thank you. I mean, I'm glad that you think that much of me, Danny. That I get paid handsomely, some kind of way.
To be the most African American they possibly can be.
To be the most African American they can be. All right. Yes. I take African American over foundational Black American, over ADOS, over Freedman, over Hockentock and Chaka Wow and all that stuff. Black, everybody's a Blackfoot. That's your first identity when you make the transition because Black is in it. You know what I mean? It's crazy, right? So Danny, let's keep. I mean, okay, Danny, I got money. And it's coming as a result of me being the most African American. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's do it.
It's a hustle.
It's a hustle. All right, Danny. Tell me how it's a hustle, Danny. Let's talk.
They built their entire lives revolving around projecting this image of a one people. And
a one people. What does that mean, y'all? Y'all help me out with that one. I heard people say B1. Is that like African first? Is that what that means?
Not because they actually believe it. It's because they want it to pay off. They write books. They get booked for seminar.
Oh, man, I'm still writing my first book, man. And I wish I was getting booked for more seminars. God dang, I don't even look. All the seminars, a lot of the seminars I do them for free. I mean, honorarium, boy, I would be honored to get an honorarium. I mean, I'm going to be at the conference, the Association of Black Psychologists at Morgan State in a few weeks, but I have to pay to take part. I mean, most of the things I do here at TNET for the community, they are free. I don't know, man. Danny knows something I don't know, but maybe he needs to let me in. Kind of like that pseudo, because another thing I want to tell you is I realized that most of them, they're really like sovereign citizen rejects as well. Because you'll hear their talk, like Lord Abba and even Danny Boy. They kind of talk this status stuff. And, I remember like people were taking back their name, and they said that there was some money in a pot at the end of the rainbow because you had a social security card. I'm sorry, y'all. Some of y'all still think that because you had a birth certificate. So there's some pot at the end of the rainbow. Now, the new pot for the sovereign citizen movement is reparations. So they figured that's not working out so well. So let's just switch over. It just happened to be people that they like the fake Morris people, like Lord Abba, who Dr. Maya had on her channel when he was just talking things about Caribbeans getting like these legs up and this money to start businesses. And I'm like, look, hey, Lord Abba, please let me know where the money is. I'll make sure my wife gets down so we can get some of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to figure out where it's at. Please enlighten me where they go and get that at. Yo, Lord Abba, put me down. Danny, let me know where that money at that you said I got, and tell me how much I got, Danny, because I'm getting paid handsomely. I think he said something like that. Let me know where it's at, and let me know where I get more honorariums at for these seminars, because I'm not doing enough seminars, you ask me, because people don't even do a lot of things anymore. But what I'm saying is I'm getting paid handsomely, not by what I do every day, not by the work that I do, not by the labor that I put out or put forth. He's saying I get paid by my books. I didn't get the book. My book ain't out yet. Now, maybe you're talking about my dissertation. I don't know. I ain't saw one copy of that. I don't know, brother. Go ahead.
There's a lot of monetary gain in this business. Umar Johnson is a perfect example of that. This man,
Umar Johnson. One thing about FBA is that they're horrible with statistics. I don't know where they went to school. Like FBA, Freedman, ADOS is pretty good. They just skew the stuff. FBA, Freedman, and Pretendians, they don't believe in science or data unless it serves them. Like they never learned like statistics 101 or like what did I say? Maybe for goddamn prerequisite classes. See, this is Dr. Dawes lecture hall. This is not a 101. This is not a prerequisite. This is more of a, what is this? I would say honestly, Danny, you got a ways to go. This is more of a, I would say the subject matter a lot of times are really at the master's. So you're probably at 600 and above level classes at times here. So that's going to be kind of, sometimes we're at 500, 600, 800 level classes. And I get it now. So why was now that I think about it, Danny doesn't understand because, again, he's still taking prerequisite classes. And he doesn't understand yet. He hasn't learned the idea that one person named Umar Johnson does not represent, is not enough of a sample size to represent the Pan-African community. Like, that is their go-to. Like, we look. Those of us in the Pan-African community, including Dr. Mayat, says Umar is not a Pan-Africanist. I would love to hear what she says Tariq is or what she is, but she knows what Umar is. But nonetheless, you're in the remedial class. Umar is not a large enough sample size, brother. That even in a qualitative study, damn sure ain't no quantitative study. But at a qualitative level, we had to get to some level of attrition or something before you use that one sample or that one person as some evidence. And we understand that we cannot generalize for the most part, what we find in qualitative studies. So that one sample, like see, you got 5 other people. Danny, you have to go back to statistics, bro. Hold up, did you look? You put the jacket on, Danny. I mean, you convinced me that you took statistics, and you got your uncle on. So I would imagine that you got some wisdom, life, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Danny. But Umar and maybe this other person you might mention, they're not large enough. That's not a large enough sample size to now throw Pan-Africanism under the bus. Now, we got too many examples of FBA. If we were to run an analysis, and we don't have to, if we were to collect data, and there has been data collected for your those who came before you, ADOS, that show that they have patterns. I'm talking about ADOS of anti-African sentiment, anti-immigrant sentiment, and I believe a qualitative study was a mixed method. I can't remember, but there was real research done on it, where they went through social media platforms and then they found the themes like you find in qualitative research. But Danny, I know you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, because but Danny, again, the suit has you thinking. I mean, the blazer and the unk. I mean, but you talk about people with unks. I don't understand, Danny. Danny boy, you want to debate me, Danny? I can't believe, Danny. I don't understand why you would want to debate. Look, you know, some people are so. It's called the what do they call it? What do they call it, y'all? Help me out. The Dunning-Kruger effect, when people think they know more than they think they know. Brother, he called me for a debate. What y'all think I should do, y'all? Tell me. What do y'all think I should do? Dawes Lecture Hall. Let me know. 1, if y'all want me to debate Danny. 2, if y'all say, Daw, don't waste your time, man. Next. Y'all let me know. I know y'all like to fight, so it don't mean I'm gonna listen to y'all, but go ahead. Let me hear what y'all want. But again, Danny boy, my man Danny, I'm gonna take it easy on you, my brother, because you're a young man, I think. I mean, at least it seems that you're young. You know, you look pretty young, but you know, with black people, that's kind of hard to tell sometimes. You know, but the way that you articulate and your analysis just seems a bit off. And let's keep going.
Hustling in that school for over a decade. People see that and they really hop on the grift. The idea of delineation ruins that grift for them. That's why they look at what we're saying. And instead of responding to what I said, he's talking about something completely different. The fact of the matter is,
I'm talking about something completely different. I'm wondering if he's going to tell me what that is. Hopefully he does. Because he still ain't telling me. He didn't answer those other questions. He knows how much money I got. He knows the books I wrote. He knows what's the other thing he knew, y'all? He knows a lot here. Danny. No face says at Dr. Dennis Winkle, bruv, you will be wasting your time, but you might feel sorry for him. You ain't never lied. I would definitely probably feel sorry. But he's that rising star, y'all. Y'all sure? Look, okay, no. He says I might feel sorry for him. You're right. You know, Danny, you can join the team though. Danny, hit me up, man. Inbox me. I don't think he's serious, Dr. Daw. Danny got the smoking jacket on. Unk and no. Okay, I'm not going to. Okay. Y'all said it, not me. I mean, let's see what Jamal Davis says. You are absolutely right. I wish A lot of folks understood that part. Let's see what Mr. K said. When Tariq Hidden Colors, when Tariq did Hidden Colors, I didn't take Tariq seriously as a scholar. Me either. But you know, I didn't take him serious at all as a scholar. And I never saw Hidden Colors as education. I saw it as entertainment. I must agree. Hidden Colors for me is not even entertainment, because see, people play on that entertainment word in these YouTube streets. Let me give you an example. So like Umar Johnson, and we'll talk about that sample size again. So Umar Johnson, see, most of us, or many people, let me say that, many people take him to be a serious force as a Pan-Africanist. But the problem is this: whenever they'll take him as quote unquote a Pan-Africanist leader. I'm talking about leader. I'm talking about those who believe in him. Family, make sure y'all like the video, y'all share the video, still share it right now. We still got a little ways to go. They take him as a serious leader in our community. And not until he does something foolish, those who take him serious begin to say he's just comedy. It's just comedy. Umar's not, he's not, everything on social media is just comedy. Don't take, then they'll say stuff like this. See, people who follow people like this, FBA and those Umar followers, they'll start saying stuff like, why would you take anything you found on YouTube or heard on YouTube serious? That's gaslighting. Because you know why people take Umar Johnson serious, because he presents himself as a serious person. They've done it with Polite. They've done it with all types of figures. Polite would do it. People who gaslight you, they'll be like, it's just entertainment. Why would something's got to be wrong with you if you're taking social media serious? What I'm going to tell you now, outside of maybe a joke that might be dry humor and you might not be able to pick up on it, I'm serious. And my jokes are typically serious. So sometimes that's why you might not pick up on a joke. Yeah, you might not pick up on a joke sometimes. So what I'm saying is, no, I will be very clear that I'm not saying I can't be entertaining, but I'm not your entertainer. I am not your entertainer. I come here for a very specific reason. Just like tomorrow, I'm bringing my homie, one who has been my student, one in various forms, my friend, my brother, who comes from Caribbean parentage, who's doing work here in Baltimore City, and we're going to have a talk. And I don't even know how he's going to answer some of these things, but we're going to have to talk to my first generation brother. You know, that before now, nobody was really like, you know, it was like, he's just my brother. But now you're like, oh, he's my Caribbean brother. Like, I remember one time he spoke about this his experience where he was looking at his ancestors. And the ancestors that, and I could be wrong, he'll correct me tomorrow if I am. He was like, yeah, you know, I realized that my family come from Jamaica. Like, he respects all the ancestors here, but he realized that his lineage, his family, I ain't talking about what y'all call the lineage, came a different route. Because in essence, from what I gathered, there was like this it was no disconnect. I've known him for a long time. There's no disconnect. Now with this, it has you to examine some things, and let's listen to Danny Boy as he continues to talk about this type of topic, because Danny is very, Danny Boy put on his cigar jacket and he's doing his thing. He's showing me up now. Come on, he said Pan-African failed attempt at debunking him. Now again, he said I failed my failed attempt, and what he didn't show you in this clip is that in the video, it actually says that we don't, in this particular country, the United States, go by we don't like go to award shows and start lifting up the USA. One, I think he might say something similar to this. One, because we're here. Two, because we find other ways to identify. Everybody don't identify the same way culturally. What am I saying about that? I'm saying that some people, their primary identity in different places, they might choose a different category. That's why I'm saying we have race first has to be a primary identity. It is for me. It has to be primary. It has to be at the core right now. It doesn't mean that it excludes your maleness, your femaleness, your if you're able or disabled, or it doesn't mean that it excludes any of that. But from my estimation, my assessment, my analysis, my experience, I realize if you put any identity before that, you become you become counter-revolutionary, counterproductive to the movement, whatever movement that is for Black people. Because then you'll begin to start fighting about those things and putting those things as primary more than you put your Blackness. And then you get confused about these wars. And many times people who get confused like that, they start to exaggerate how gender or their sexuality or their ability or their complexion or their whatever other identity category, they start to exaggerate those experiences due to trauma. I'm not saying the experiences don't exist, and or they make that more primary than the Blackness. So it becomes easier to now adopt a white identity. And what I mean by white identity, because if your primary fight is now being disabled, you can find a lot of white people to do that. So now you have access to people with certain levels of power, finances, money, grants, all types of things when you go that way. If it's gender, you have white women. So now you seem like you fighting with white women because they'll say, come on, girl. Because white women over there, and you get more grants and funding and all this type of thing. Now, men, on the other hand, Black men, you don't get that same thing. But at the same time, the men can also still get caught in making their maleness their primary identity, like I see happening in some spaces. And then what they do is they now turn on the sisters instead of seeing the sisters as, reacting and responding to this colony that we find ourselves in, this racist system that we find ourselves in. They begin to say, look, I'm not dealing with sisters here. I'm going over abroad. See, they have no level of accountability or or I'm going to go and do this, or I'm going to go with white women. I'm not, what I'm saying is, to me, to be with a black woman is a political decision. You can look, I'm not going to be like lying to you, act like, oh, you're that biologically you can't fit in certain spaces. But when you put these other identities at the forefront, what happens is it's so easy for you to be co-opted, because you'll be over here looking at, oh, see, these black spaces don't have money. They're not doing something right. But then you go over here like, see, the LGBTQ, they doing something right. But we think it's because they're more organized, and we're not considering that white people are also a part of the LGBTQ plus community. We think even like, oh, these people with disabilities, they got something going on right. But we don't understand that there's white people that's a part of that. And people will support those things in ways that they will never support race-based issues. So there's more barriers for race-based fights. But so that also becomes very enticing to one, because they're like, I'm tired. These people over here, they seem to got their stuff together. Not knowing that they're comparing these different identity categories in ways that is not necessarily equitable. And that's the word they like to use. Because your blackness, I'm saying blackness as a part of this racial organizing system we find ourselves within, race is the primary organizing feature here in the US, and it probably can be argued around the world, whether or not you call it a social construct or not. So let's get back to Mr. Danny Boy. Oh, sample size. Umar Johnson, Danny, is not a large enough sample size. Go pick up your statistics book. Hold up, Danny, hold up. My man Danny, our dear brother Tadaka Kilimanjaro, PhD, he has a statistics fundamentals book, and it goes over problem statements, research questions, hypothesis, literature review, theoretical frameworks, conceptual operational definitions, methodological design, sampling, measurement instruments, primary data, 3, validity and reliability, how to use statistical software, making conclusions, limitations. So you don't know nothing about limitations. FBA don't know nothing about limitations. They damn sure don't know nothing about limitations, because they'll take any sample size. Umar Johnson then represents the entire group. All they got to do is mention Umar Johnson, and somehow, like, I want to throw the question back at him. Can you tell me these other Pan-African frauds that you're talking about? And I'm talking about people who are clearly Pan-African. You tell me. I would argue that there are more in leadership positions within Pan-African spaces. I'm not saying what you call in Pan-African. I'm talking about real bona fide Pan-African spaces. Not these, with all due respect, I'm not talking about the Nation of Islam. I'm not talking about the Hebrew Israelites. With all due respect, I'm not talking about any of these groups that you're calling Pan-Africanists, and they're not. Like, Drewski did a horrible job. Like, he was mixing Unks and Hebrew Israelites and Hotep and all this type of thing. So really, I'm talking about real deal Pan-African people, and I would even argue real deal African-centered people, not the pseudos, not the Phil Valentines, not those folk over there. I'm talking about the Clarks, the Henry, the Dr. Benz, those folk. In fact, you try to misutilize these folks. I'm talking about the Dr. Clarks. I'm talking about the Dr. Amos Wilsons, the Marimba Inez, the Patricia Newtons, these type of folk. I'm talking about the ones you see here currently today, the Bob M. Hoteps. You said show me my grift. Please show it to me. I'm talking about the Tendef. I'm talking about all the people I brought on, Losi Lamumus. I'm saying, show me the people around the country even. that are Pan-Africanists, that, I mean, like, compare them next to you, fangled new group of grifters within the FBA ideological movement, like you, Tariq, Sincere, Love to God, Black Alpha. I never watched him yet. I'm gonna have to watch him. Should I watch him, y'all? Danny's a little bit more stomach. I can stomach Danny a little bit more because he's Danny's a nice look. Let's look at Danny. Can't you tell why? I mean, Danny, you can see he's a nice guy somewhere along the line. I don't know. Danny, you look innocent, brother. So nonetheless, you know, somebody misled you though. You know what I mean? But I don't know if you're innocent, Danny. I don't know, you know, but you're talking a lot about me, Danny. Let's keep talking.
Anytime they win an award or anything, they solely claim it for themselves. That is a form of delineation.
He now is asking if he really wants to know what my argument was, that they're crying, that they are hurt. He wants to speak to this. Oh, this guy who's supposed to be a doctor doesn't know what I'm talking about. He didn't even respond to me. What is he talking about? Because they gave kudos to their country, he says they're delineating. So now he's upset about what he's calling delineation. He's upset about it. He's upset about what he's calling delineation. Oh, so, I mean, like, how does that hold up with everything else, though, Danny? Let's follow the logic. Maybe you took logic in your academic career. I mean, logic is I really like logic. And what I realized, logic was so easy to me, and a lot of people were struggling. So logic seems like it's really easy, and it really is easy. Like, I enjoyed the class logic. I'm wondering if you took a logic class, a philosophy class, a logic class. I'm wondering, because Danny, let me remind myself what Danny just said.
Solely claim it for themselves. That is a form of delineation.
So they solely, so he's adding to now, like, so they solely claim it for themselves. What does that look like? So when I say, if I win an award and I say I want to represent Baltimore, do you now delineate? Is that delineation? And if you're calling that delineation, is that harmful? Like, you literally are going down to people, like, giving credence to where they're from, Danny. This is like a logical fallacy. It's not equivalent. In fact, I keep trying to, like if I was in Jamaica or Africa or somewhere else, you got to believe and understand that if you really was to think about it, Danny, just use some level of logic here. If I was in Jamaica living and I won an award in Jamaica, mainstream, I'm gonna say I'm on national, international television. I would say I give mad respect to my people back home in the US. You ain't gonna hear me say the US here. Most of us don't even like, again, we have a very interesting relationship with the US here in Black Americans. We don't even like the American part hardly. But if we were out of the country, Danny, have you ever traveled? You will realize when you travel abroad that you begin to utilize your US-ness more. Even if you Pan-African, even if you African descendant, they be like, where are you from? You be like, the States. Like, you don't even like, I think sometimes you don't even want to say US, you be like, the States. They know what you're talking about. Like, what I'm saying is, if I was in another space, another place, I'm going to say, I give a shout out to my people back home Now we do that already here. Now it might sound different. See, like if I'm in Baltimore, right? Let me give you an example of how this works. Let's follow the logic. Family, like, share, subscribe. Let's follow the logic. If I'm in Baltimore, right? I'm in Baltimore right now. And I receive an award. I might say, because I'm in Baltimore, and this is a Baltimore event, I'm going to even delineate even further or more in a more granular sense. I'm going to say, all right, to my peoples on the east side. Yeah. I want to get a shout out. I'm a son of Baltimore, perhaps. You know, then I'm going to say OYC because that's where I grew up at. And I always want to show people and represent my people in my neighborhood. You see my hat. I didn't get this hat for this show. I just went around my neighborhood. My neighborhood, they got pride. You know what I mean? It's stories to that. And for me, I grew up in a neighborhood that when we grew up and we heard the word like Old York was, it rung bells. Like I'm talking about in some not so good ways all the time. But for me, I don't wear the hat because I'm trying to rep a hood like that. I wear the hat to rep the hood like that. What I mean by that is say, look, I represent these people. These are people I struggled with. These are people who had my back. These are people who looked out for me. These are people who fed me. These are people who saw me at my lowest. These are people who saw me struggling. These are people I struggled with. These are people I saw their mothers struggling. So if I'm in Baltimore, they gonna understand. Like somebody might sound from Park Heights. Somebody might sound from Cherry Hill. Somebody might, like, if I was to go to New Jersey and I'm gonna say, I'm from Baltimore. I'm giving mad love to my people who's in Baltimore. I'm a Baltimore son, a son of Baltimore. Now, I might go a little further to the Cherry Hill and all that other stuff. No, I'm not gonna go to the Cherry Hill. I'm gonna say maybe my neighborhood, but that means nothing to them. So it's more clear for me to just say Baltimore when I go to New Jersey. Now, some people in some places know some of these areas in Baltimore, like Park Heights and Epsom Avenue, like or down the hill in East Baltimore. They'll know that. They've heard about those things. Somebody say OYC. Now look up OYC. You'll see what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, I'm just saying, just look it up. It had its own thing going on. You know what I'm saying? So going back, if I'm in New York City, I'm just gonna say Baltimore. I might say 2, and they might be like, "Oh, you from Baltimore because you said 2." But the thing is this. You change how you, quote unquote, what you're calling delineation, I'm calling identification. How you identify depending on the context. But from a hurt place, from a traumatized place, you see people representing where they're from, their struggle with those people who supported them, those people who fed them, the people who gave them sugar next door, giving them a shout out is problematic. Oh, see, we was all one, you said, and then y'all wanted to give a shout out to Jamaica and these other places. Like, yo, what's up with that? Like, and then he's gonna say I made his point. Let's finish listening to this brother.
And you see, he even justifies them doing that. But why wouldn't they? We don't do that for us.
He says, and you see, he even justifies them in doing that. We don't do that for us. Now, I don't know what that means. Y'all help me out. Now, y'all see, he even justifies them in doing that. They don't do that for us. Okay, he lost the whole point. My point is that African Americans don't go up on the stage in most cases claiming the U.S., especially while they're in the U.S. Don't get mad at people who claim their countries because you can't see this thing within context. When you're not from a place and you go to a place, it's more likely that you will rep it. But it's also true that African Americans have a very different experience with the land that they find themselves on than those from countries that have some level of independence and they're the majority population. Here, we see ourselves, we see where we are. We understand that we are a minority. We understand that we've been between 11 and 14% of the population for a long time. We know that. So in Jamaica, we like FBA says some of the craziest things. Like, well, they don't call themselves Afro or black or this. You ain't got to call yourself black around a bunch of black people. But that doesn't mean you don't know you're black. When people think Jamaica, see, they don't have to use the word black as much in Jamaica, especially, or even outside of Jamaica, because you think black when you think Jamaica. If you don't know it, lots of people, including our own people outside of this country, for a long time, and things may have changed a bit, they see the U.S. as a white place. The streets are paved in gold. You know what I mean? So, I mean, literally, this is a white country to them, although they see black people. It's kind of like you might see black people in Britain. I've never been in the UK. Now, but when I think of the UK, I think of white. I could be, you know, I don't even think about black hoods. I'm certain there's some there. I don't know them. I saw some UK rappers. But we don't think black when we think about the United Kingdoms, Europe, Russia. I mean, you know, those places are in the continent. We don't think black, although there are black people there and have been there for a long time. The U.S., Canada, we don't think black. And even South America, who has the largest population of black people, we don't even think black. Like Brazil. Like we might think about Brazil. Because, you know, we may. But a lot of us don't. Lots of us who study, we know these type of things. But still, when we think South America, we ain't thinking black. We thinking, what do they call them? Mestizo? What do they call them, y'all? I'm sorry. Like the mestizo type of, if I'm using the right term. So again, we have to be able to use logic, follow the logic. So again, depending on where you are, determines how you contextualize, even at an awards event. If I'm in Baltimore, I'm going to represent my neighborhood. If I'm outside of Baltimore in Delaware, I'm going to represent Baltimore and perhaps Maryland. But in Baltimore, we don't really represent Maryland like that. That's just our culture. We don't represent the state like that. Some places represent their state first. Like, for example, now I know they might not like it all the time, but when you talk to somebody from Jersey, they don't always rep their cities up there because their state is more popular than their city. And then people kind of conflate those things like, oh yeah, I'm from Jersey, I'm from Baltimore, I'm from New York. Then you got to ask a question. When you say New York, are you talking about the city or are you talking about the state? But most people would allude to the idea because the daggone city, although it has the same name as the state, is more popular than the state. Is that interesting? some people probably wouldn't even know. They would know New York City, and I promise you, they wouldn't know that the New York City is in the state of New York. I'm just trying to like give you some ideas of how to follow the logic. See, but when you have hurt, pain, and trauma, logic, it's difficult to reason. It's difficult to see outside of the black and whiteness, and they hurting us. We was all friends until they got an award, and they said they was from Jamaica. What? My dear brother reclaiming NYC, because he says that we even say here in NYC is our nationality. That's what I'm saying. People identify different culturally, even within the states. Now, again, this is not a remedial class, but my dear brother, I have faith in you. I have faith in you. Look, now this brother said, Shabaka said Camden strong. He know what I mean, though. Shabaka know that most people gonna say he from Jersey. I think Camden is in Jersey. look, I see. I'm just saying. You dig what I'm saying? People say, that you got Pennsylvania, you got Philadelphia, and then you got Pennsylvania. People say Baltimore is the north of the south, and Philadelphia is the Pennsylvania is the south of the north. So it's kind of like we understand how complex these realities are. So look, when we look at things with a lack of nuance, and I give some grace to my New York people because they ain't got it. They can't really see nuance. hey, reclaiming NYC. If people from New York, they don't have to look. See, New York people, you gotta keep in mind. Let me give y'all an example of people from New York. People from New York, you know how you feel Nigerians come when they come to your area? That's how many people feel when New Yorkers move to their area. Because people from New York, they think that because they from New York, that somehow they think they supposed to get some special privilege or something. You're like, yeah, I'm New York Terry. They don't look, their first name is not how they identify. They say, yo, I'm from New York. They don't even look. They even stretch their accents. I'm sorry, my New York people. They exaggerate their accent for you can hear them. They be like, I'm dipset. Oh. Oh God. Doc. Be Active said, Doc, you speak in logical facts, basic. What do you say? Y'all say what he gonna use against me? I mean, he not gonna make no sense out of none of this anyway, because you know, people don't want to. Brother Reclaim NYC said we all have different cultures in our states and even cities. That's right, Reclaim NYC. Memphis ain't Tennessee. It's Memphis, right? I could have guessed that. You know what I mean? I got family in Memphis. No, like Pete, like, oh, what is Memphis in Tennessee? Like I could imagine that, right? Doc, you speaking logical facts. A basic that a little brain like FBA doesn't have brain cells to understand. All right, we're gonna work on them. We're gonna get them out of remedial. We're gonna get them out of remedial. You know, they're not convincing us because they got their suits, their smoker jackets, and their unk chain. They're not convincing. You know, because you got your unk chain on and all of that, it's not, you're not really convincing too much, my dear brother. But we love you. We love you. I mean, this is just, you dig. your big brother, yes, your Black American brother, your African American brother. You said I'm, there's a grift for African American, so I don't think apparently you might not go with African, right? And there's this grift that Freedmen are doing. If you really want to talk about a grift, like Freedmen think that somehow because you utilize this word Freedman, that it's going to make this great difference. Like it's like this hustle. Again, I'm telling you, it is a sovereign citizen hustle that has evolved to Freedman. I'm going to argue that the Freedman movement is a offshoot of, is a synthesis of several movements. That being maybe Native American, the fake and pretendians, the more sovereign movement, or perhaps the Black identity extremists they talk about, and then also FBA. All right, let's listen to my dear brother again. Let's see.
Say redundancy. We don't have to. We don't have a secondary country. We are foundational Black Americans. Our ancestry goes back to the foundation of this country. He knows that. However,
what did he say? We don't have a secondary country. Y'all help me out with that. We don't have a secondary country. Our lineage goes back to the foundation of this country. He knows that. He knows that. What is he saying? What is he saying? I mean, am I missing something? I don't know that, bro. Like our lineage goes back. What lineage? I'm certain my lineage goes back to Africa, brother. You know that. You know that. Even if you don't want to admit that, you know that.
They won't.
I'm just going to do what he did. You know that. Even if you don't want to admit that, brother. Look at you, brother. Y'all keep saying people don't look like Africans. Oh, we don't look the same. Bro, come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You look, Tariq let you get away with that one? Look, bro. Hold up, bro. Look, bro, if you told me you was Nigerian, I would not challenge it. Yo, we don't look alike. We don't look alike. Bro, you can't tell me you're not from the continent. You know that. Bro, come on, man. Yo, for real? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you telling me that you... Hold up. This brother not from the continent? Yo. He got an unk on, bro. He has an unk on, his finger up, and his phenotype is very African. He knows that. He knows it. All right, let's keep going.
Acknowledge that, because if they do, it messes up their grift. As you can see, they have no smoke for anybody else around there. It
messes up our grift if we acknowledge that we come from here. Okay.
Where that does this. The Ghanaians were deporting the Nigerians, not a people.
All of them look like his brothers, right? Did he just say that? Look, every last one of them. He looked like he can go right there and blend in. Come on.
This is up their grift.
He doesn't get that. He can't even get that excuse. I'm sorry. My dear brother, I understand what y'all mean, but brother, you don't get that. You don't get that pass, brother. You don't get that pass.
As you can see, they have no smoke for anybody else around their diaspora that does this.
We don't have smoke for anybody else around the diaspora that does what?
The Ghanaians were deporting the Nigerians, not a peep from these guys. The South Africans are...
You know why? It's illogical. Again, logic is we struggle with logic. You must know that, like you say, you FBA, you Freedman, and those type of folk and pretendians, Y'all say Pan-Africanists put all their attention on what's going on outside the country. But then at the same time, you will say that we're not over there in their business. I mean, you're going to have to get that one straight. I mean, I don't get it. Like, which one is it? Because, and the reason why I speak to FBA, because I know that you are my people in this particular country that is called the United States of America. I know you. Why would I go all the way up to Ghana to deal with sick people when I can deal with my sick people of my own here? Why? Now, you are my people. And yes, FBA, ADOS, Pretendians, there's a sickness there. Maybe not all of you. Some people confused, but for in general, there's a Afrophobia there. But you my people. Why would I go across to South Africa? And I don't know the terrain of South Africa. Why would I go all the way over? Like, I'm not saying I can't be concerned and even support in ways. I'm just saying, why would I go over there meddling in their business? I can't get my business right here. I'm trying to get our business right here, like you say, FBA. And I understand that FBAism is a sickness. I'm trying to help heal my people. It's no need to delineate because we already know. Even in the way that you talk, you know we delineated already. You know that African Americans is a delineation. You know it's different than a Nigerian American. Even if they call themselves a Black American. You know that a Black American is more general than African American. You just don't want to use the word African American. You understand that African American is a term that identifies Black people who have had ancestry from the African continent, gone through the transatlantic enslavement, Mayafa, and they're still here on this soil, as y'all say, on this soil. But that's the process. We can't escape that. You can't escape that, brother. I know you think you Native American, something like, bro, your family is from Africa. Look, bro, I'm sorry. Tariq Nasheed can't say we don't look alike when I'm looking at you. Yo, now, you can even find someone to look like me on the continent. But you, the parts that you're trying to hide from, you actually fit the bill. Yeah, you do, bro. I'm sorry. You did, bro.
Important everybody. The Nigerians, the Burkina Fasoans, the people from Mozambique. They're important everybody. And they're being very loud and rude about it. And no one's saying
now he cares. So they're being loud and rude about it. It's like, just like FBA, bro. Why are you acting like you got a heart about for those people over there? Didn't you say we should worry about our business over here? Worry about what's going on over here, bro. That's an FBA talking point. Why y'all get to switch it up? You asking, again, me why I'm worried about people over here, but you've been telling me the whole time I've been worried about people over there. You know why I'm worried about people over here, because they're my people, brother. This is the terrain I know. This is like if something goes down in Maryland and I'm all up in NYC acting like I know what's going on in that terrain. I'm not saying I can't do nothing in NYC, but if I was to go there and surpass my dear brother, where he at? Reclaimer NYC, who's a native to NYC, I would assume. Why would I go past him? Why would he be coming down to Baltimore acting like he know what's going on in Baltimore? He would have to come and consult with me first. If in fact we'd be like, yo, get out of our business. They'll be like, yo, get out of our business. No, learn the terrain first. Come talk to the people. Come talk to the locals. Why would we go over there fighting the same fight that you're trying to stop us from fighting here? Why would we go over there and fight xenophobia over there before we fight xenophobia over here? Doesn't make sense. Again, very remedial. Hold up, brother. This brother wants to debate me. Very remedial. But he think that he's sharp. I mean, Tariq, man, that weekend course you gave this brother, man, you're going to have to run him through it again. Because he think this stuff sounds intelligent. And the people are actually liking him. Go. People are like in this chat board giving him love. Like, yo, why they gassing this man up? Why they gassing bro up? Why they doing that? Oh, man. Where he from? Somebody know where he at? Because Brother Tahaka Bay said he would debate him. He said he would debate him. And if he nearby, like in Philly or DC or Virginia or something like that, even NYC, yo, he said we can do it in person. Yo, I'm just saying, yo, you're gonna have to work up past the remedial classes for me. Now, Tahaka probably just obliterate you just for the hell of it.
I mean, maybe one or two of them may have said something originally, but they don't stick to that. And then you pay attention to what's going on in the Caribbean. Haiti is clearly under crisis right now. Everybody can see it. I think you'd have to be a blind person to say that is not a dire situation going on in Haiti.
So you want us to help Haiti now? FBA, y'all gotta look. Y'all new upcoming leader want us to go to Haiti and deal with that dire situation over there, not deal with what's going over here like we are. Because Pan-Africanists, they say we only do stuff over there, but now they're complaining about what we're doing here. But now they're saying, why don't y'all go over to Haiti? They're having a dire situation.
The Haitians sought refuge with the Jamaicans. They sought refuge with the Bahamians, the Bahamas. If I got that wrong, I apologize.
You got it right.
And they started to deport them. These Kufi, dashiki wearing people ain't said a word about that.
These Kufi dashiki. Just wait for it, y'all. Just wait for it.
They're more focused on foundational Black Americans because that's where the influence and the money is.
So we focus on foundational Black Americans because that's where the influence and the money is. He started off saying that we trying to protect our bag. The reason why we were saying it before is because somehow there's a grift and there's a lot of money in Pan-Africanism. Now we're focused on foundational Black Americans because that's where the money and the power is. Like, bro, get it? Like, make it make sense. Yo, who put you out here, bro? They put you out here too early, man. They put that smoker jacket on you and they gas you up.
See, if we decide something is not cool anymore, then it loses its value.
So when we say something ain't cool no more, it loses its value. Who is we?
That's why you see these Pan-Africans constantly attacking the homie Tariq.
The homie Tariq, your leader Tariq. Let's be clear. The one who makes all the rules.
Constantly attacking anybody who's pushing delineation.
Who's pushing delineation. Okay, we don't need to delineate because it's already clear who we are. If that's all it is, like everybody know who African Americans are. What are you doing?
At the same time, justifying delineation for other groups.
And then justifying delineation. So and his example was that they get to say where they're from when they receive awards. And that is me justifying delineation. I'm speechless. So what about when we state our cities and counties and even our country, especially when we're outside of the U.S.? I mean,
y'all heard the tape. The man said, well, why wouldn't they? I don't have a problem with them doing it.
Same question. Why wouldn't they rep their city, their country, their neighborhood, their mama, their papa, their God, whatever? Why wouldn't they? Why not, brother? I can't now. If I say I'm a man, I delineate it from the black women. If you use the word delineate just to show that some difference, okay, all right, it's all types of differences, brother. It's not that deep. You are not really good with identity. Your identity politics is off. Like, I don't know, you're struggling with logic. You're struggling with multiculturalism. You're struggling with statistics. Like, bro, you gotta look. No wonder you're in remedial.
I really don't. Matter of fact, I myself encourage delineation because you are you and we are us. Nowhere else is anybody.
You are we and we are us. You are we. Because I saw some people repeat that as he was in his comment section. You are we and we. Is that what he said? And we are us. You are we and we are us. Okay, let me figure that one out.
To make that sacrifice outside of foundational Black Americans. And as you can see, even the most Pan-African people.
So is he saying that? Let me not even make it make sense for him. Let him figure that out. Tell me what you mean by that, brother. You say a lot of things, but you don't really explain it.
With their doctor degrees and their unks and their kufis and their the sheik.
Listen to what he just said. Listen to what he just said. Look, everybody with their, you can tell. First of all, he said doctorate degree. I don't know how many people feel so intimidated by somebody who got a doctorate degree. They got or them with their unks and their doctorate degrees. It tells you exactly what I'm saying. Listen.
I don't have a problem with them delineating. I really don't. Matter of fact, I myself encourage delineation because you are you and we are us. Nowhere else is anybody asked to make that sacrifice outside of foundational Black Americans. And as you can see, even the most Pan-African people with their doctor degrees and their unks and their kufis and their the shikis and their little, Egyptian insignia.
With their unks,
you see that they're encouraging
their Egyptian insignia. He's talking about Egyptian insignia. Look at him. My dear brother, you are in denial. You are straight. Brother, I don't have to do a DNA test to know you from the continent, brother. I don't have to do one for myself, but you damn sure don't have to. Brother, appreciate your lineage, brother. We powerful. Appreciate your ancestry. We're beautiful. Appreciate your symbols because you got it on your neck. You saying that they got unks and dashikis and Egyptian symbols. And look at you. Straight African. Straight a nice little size unk on your neck. And that ring probably matches. I don't know. Brother, you West African. And I didn't have to do the test.
The groups to do this. So why is it different for them than us? And see, and if you take it away from just the social side of it, because again, my thing is more so on the political side, because when I see people like Byron Donald.
From the social side to the political side. Now, listen to what he's about to do. This is crazy. If I remember it correctly, it's going to go back to his inability to pass stats. But
who is melanated, but his family's from Jamaica and Panama.
Byron Allen. I think that's what he said, right? Is that the politician that they keep talking about?
When I see him saying things like he doesn't support reparations because his mom won't get it. When I see
so again, they take one guy. Again, he says he doesn't want to support reparations because his mom won't be able to get it. Now, if I recall, Byron, there's so much more wrong with this guy, Byron Allen, and he's much more like them in politics than majority of FBA or Black immigrants that come to the country. That he's closer in politically to them. I think he's, if I'm correct, he's that conservative brother. I think, is he from New York? Hey, you gotta talk to your brother. You gotta talk to your New York people if that's the one I'm talking about. So this one guy now represents all Caribbeans. Umar Johnson represents all Africans. Look, he found one person. They found one person in all these categories. These are poor sample sizes, brother. Again, you got to go back to stats.
Omar, who's a Somalian.
Somebody, Omar, who's a Somalian. They keep following these extreme one-offs.
Claims she was a black woman until she got some hot water.
She claims that she's a black woman. Okay.
But who was a Somalian who met with the Somalian head of state, and they openly discussed Somalians targeting foundational black Americans for political power. See, the Pan-Africans are real quiet about stuff like this. Not a peep. As a matter of fact, you got people like the Dante Cow kid, the fish and grits guy.
I don't know these people, but what I want to say is, again, this is what I keep saying. When I told people months ago that y'all thought the attacks was on African or immigrants, in reality, it does sound like a government setup or operation, because really, they are really coming for Pan-Africanism. I've been telling people that, and I'm not even sure if people are really, how many people start repeating it, because they think that it's about the people, when it's really about the ideology. They're attacking the ideology. They're working for their government ops, even if there's never been a contract, even if there's no agreements, they're serving as such.
Openly saying, well, that's not our role to respond to disrespect. When has that ever been a thing for Foundation?
Anyway, I'm not going to continue. See, again, when I listen to him, he just evidences what I mean and what I talk about. And my dear brother, with all due respect, I'm doing this video, but I want to say I respect my people, man. And I might have a little fun today, but it's not too late to ever come home. If you ever want to have better, more accurate information, you can holler at me. I don't think you're ready to debate me though. Even if I did debates, there's no way. There's no way. I feel the I don't know, the hurt there, brother. And I mean, literally, I'm saying in you, brother. I'm not even generalizing this to FBA, because I do see and I feel the hurt in FBA, but I hardly ever do this, but I do feel the hurt in you, just the way that you talk. So I really do feel for you, because as you sit here and complain and why they did this and why they do that and they did this and see why they doing that to us and all they do is this and all they do is that, you complain, brother. There's no need. Brother, I can tell, brother, there's a place where you can find healing in some real African-centered places. Brother, come home. Brother, come home. Family, I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time just in case anybody wants to come on. I'm not going to continue to play, because my dear brother, I really do feel it, and it sounds really melancholy. I'm being real honest. I'm no diagnosis here, but my dear brother sounds melancholy. He sounds hurt. And because he is doing this on social media, I am responding on social media. Man. Yeah, brother. Brother. Pan-African failed attempt at debunking me. Brother. Go watch the full video. Brother, I probably won't respond anymore because I really, 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 really feel deeply. And this is not fun. This is not fun. And I don't want to have fun. But this is not, I don't like the way it feels to even sit here and analyze your video. I don't like it, brother. I mean, looking at this picture, it's like, brother, I can see it. I can see it in your eyes, brother. I don't know. I don't even want to like say what I see, brother. But I see it. Can't even put it in words right now, to be honest with you. But the fact that you got the Pan-African flag with the X in it, like, okay. Pan-African failed attempt at debunking me. My dear brother. My dear brother. If you think that somehow you are a challenge, you got something coming. That is the sad part that I'm talking about. And I'm being really real here. My dear brother, if you think that you are an opponent, my dear brother, I feel sad. I am so sorry that your friends and your comrades, if you can call them that, will allow you to even believe this thing, brother. And if they believe it, I feel even more deeply saddened for them. My dear brother, these doctors, he says, you know what he's saying? I can hear it. These doctors and these people with these unks, and you know, it's kind of like you can tell when people start talking like that, there's something going on as it relates to their own sense of security. There's something going on. These people with these unks, well, my dear brother sit here before us with an unk. Man. My dear brother, I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in this picture, brother. I can see it. The good part is, brother, that there's people out here who love us. I love us. And whenever you're ready, just come and holler at your brother. Because I will be here when you're really, truly ready to learn. Because I'm not quite ready to write you off as a grifter quite yet. But your daddy Umar, yeah, I'm not. Oh yeah, Umar too. But Tariq, grifter. I'm not writing you off, brother. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at him right here on my screen. Y'all can't see him, but I'm not ready to write the brother off quite yet. The brother might have heart. He might think this is the right way, but brother, know that your African family is waiting on you. Brother, know, be proud of your African phenotypical features, brother. Those aren't Native American features, my dear brother. My brother, when Tariq talks about African phenotype, he's talking about you, my brother. When he's talking about Caribbean phenotype, my brother, he's talking about you. Love yourself, my dear brother. Come home, brother. Pan-African failed attempt at debunking you, brother. That is the saddest piece because you truly believe it. I'm your big brother. I have a place for you when you're ready. I'm going to get up out of here, family, because I'm real, I'm really feeling this one here, brothers and sisters. DAW's Lecture Hall. I can't say this brother's a fraud yet, people. I don't even know. I think that there's some delusion going on here, though. And he might mean well. But this is another example of how people like Tariq Nasheed puts our people under a spell. Make sure you like this video, you share this video, you subscribe, and you hype it up. I'll see you tomorrow, family, 7 o'clock. Peace and power. Imani 9 Guvu.
When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back.
If a generalized black woman is doing this and being this, that is that is irresponsible.
No,
when you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind
showing
back.
me,
Black and proud. Claim your Africanness. Black
because
and
I
proud.
think
I'm telling
that
you.
if
When you claim your
as a
Africanness, you're going to
person
get your
who
mind
has
back.
a page,
What is the status of people
Claim your
with half
Black and proud. I'm
FBA?
telling you. When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back.
That's why I was laughing, because
Black and
I am
proud. Claim your Africanness. Black
I'm not
and
saying the
proud. I'm telling
framework
you.
doesn't do a thing, but
Become a part of it.
we've been
Embrace it.
forward to black men
Become a
being the
part of it.
masters, being
Embrace
in
it.
control. We must
Become a
have
part
our
of
own,
it.
only
Embrace it.
that those one of the
Become a
best
part
stories I've
of
ever heard.
Embrace it. When you claim
How
your
have
Africanness, you're
mastered
going to get your mind
that
back.
mental growth takes
Black
place.
and
You've
proud.
been
Claim
misled
your
by
Africanness.
leadership,
Black
for
and
instance,
proud.
that
I'm
thinking
telling
you can consume.
When you claim your Africanness, you're going to get your mind back. Black and proud. Claim your Africanness. Black and proud. I'm telling you.